We're floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. Hi, welcome to the Wingmen Show. My name is Drew Brown. We hope to inspire, entertain, and learn something so we can all make this world a better place for our children. I'd like to introduce to you somebody who's my friend, my wingman, my main man, and I have a wingman watching my back, Dr. Paul Thompson. Hey, Paul, what's happening?
Oh, not much. Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Thompson, and you just heard from Mr. Drew Brown, Dark Gable. He's the American dream. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the pilot's pilot, the role model's role model, and most importantly, his royal fullness. How are you doing today, Mr. Dark Gable?
I'm doing great, and I'm glad I'm full of knowledge, Paul. I'm glad I'm full of knowledge. Well, we're going to have a great show right now. Check this out. Dr. Paul, do you see who's behind me?
Yes, who is that? Tell me who that is. I know who it is, but I'm not too sure. Tell me.
That's another doctor.
Really?
That is my son, Dr. Drew Jacques Brown IV. And I have his picture up there for a very certain reason. If you look in his eyes, if you could look at that face, he's looking at his son for the first time. I am now the proud grandparent of a grandson named Drew Dean Brown V. That's like king stuff, Paulie, yes. Baby.
Wow, you're chasing George Foreman.
No, he has all Georges. I don't think he named them fifth.
I think you're right. Yeah,
they were just George Foreman.
Right. I think Dick Gregory's kids are like that too.
Right. I know George, and he is one of the nicest guys in the entire world. But you know what? I'm leaving today. We're still going to have our shows, but I'm going today to Tampa to go see my grandson. And I am so excited. And let me just tell you a little story. My father used to brag that he said, I told everybody I was going to have a boy. I'm going to have a boy. And so obviously when I got married and Lori got pregnant, I said, I'm going to have a boy. I told everybody, I'm going to have a boy. Boop. My wonderful daughter pops out, Taryn, who did not upset me at all. I mean, it was so natural. The first words I ever said when I saw her, that's my first miracle, is when I saw her come out, I was like, that looks just like Taryn. Anyway, so the next time we got pregnant, I just told Shorty, who I called the power, God, whatever. Anyway, I told him, all I want is a healthy baby. And bam, I got my son, Drew Brown IV. So this time, when little Drew and Heather, his wonderful wife, got pregnant, honest to God, the only thing in my mind was, Shorty, I just want a healthy child. And when somebody would come around me and say, I think it's going to be a boy, I swear I would say, Shorty, that's not me. I didn't say anything about a boy. And it might prove to have been right because I got the boy. So I'm going to Tampa. So I was on my Peloton. No, I didn't ride my Peloton today. Katrina and I, my wife, we actually did classes. We did a strength training class just with body weight, and then we did one with weights. So we finished doing that. And I've been thinking, Paul, you are so healthy. What do you do sometimes to work out?
Well, I'm just trying to maintain myself. But this morning, just before the show, what I did was a series of burpees. Nobody knows what a burpee is. A burpee, yeah, BURPE, where basically you go from just a standing position, go down on all fours, push your legs out into a push-up position, do a push-up, and stand up. That's a burpee. You can stand up or you can jump in the air. You can run in place. There's like 10,000 ways to do it, and I vary it. And it's worth doing. Most of them, what I do are body weight exercises. I don't need a lot of equipment. I got a few weights and kettlebells, but it's an excellent thing. There's people I follow, but I really do like doing them. This burpee thing, it's big in the fitness community, but back in the New York public school system, they used to call that a squat thrust.
Yeah,
new term. It was a squat thrust. I could see my old gym teacher, hard, crusty Mr. McArdle, leading us through it. It's kind of like the Marine Corps, which I think he was in. We did them all the time. Now they go to these little fitness places, act like they they came up with something new. Nah, I kind of remembered about 60 years ago. But in any case, I did a bunch. The ones I do the squat thrust. But instead of doing one push-up, I do 5.
So did you start off doing that? You're that strong? You could just start off doing burpees?
Yeah, anybody can do one, you know.
Are you sure? If you're 60, 70 pounds overweight, you think you could do a burpee?
You can start. If you can just get down,
yes.
How
would you start if you're totally out of shape, Dr. Paul?
And go standing up, go down slowly, put your hands on the ground, and shoot your feet out all the way. If you can't shoot them out, put them out one at a time if it's that bad, so you don't hurt your back. Then bring them back and stand up.
There you go.
Just if you can't do anything.
But you can't go eat bad after that, right, Doc?
No. If you're eating cheeseburgers, and I won't mention any brand names, but if you're eating a lot of garbage afterwards, don't waste. Well, I don't say don't waste your time with the exercise. It won't help you, but to make you feel good, go ahead and do it. Just don't eat a lot of crap. But basically, get your blood moving. Get up and move around.
Yes. Well, I was talking about my first wife. We got divorced after 23 years of marriage, and it was very hard. And I'm saying this because I got to let you know that life goes on. And I was so blessed to have Katrina, to find Katrina, and now we've been married 20 years. What I wanted to say, though, is being lonely when you're older has to be one of the worst tragedies you can have. And the reason that most people are lonely is because they've pushed other people out of their lives for ego, for this, for that, for silly reasons. And then when they get older, if you get divorced when you're real old, the pickings are very small. So I'm saying all that you should love yourself first before you expect anybody else to love you, Paul. That's what I did. And the greatest compliment I ever got in my life, and I've done quite a number of things, came from the guy who you're looking at behind me, Dr. Drew Brown, my son. And he once told me, he said, Dad, no matter what, you're always trying to get better. And all I'm saying is, Dr. Paul, that when you love yourself, you're taking action. You're not fat, eating bad, and putting on makeup thinking you're pretty. What you're doing is you're doing something to better yourself, either mentally, spiritually, or physically. So that's my little saying about that. But we have a Wingman story today that's the bomb. You want to tease that?
Yeah, these wingmen, it's interesting. Sometimes you can have a wingman that's not a pilot, not involved in a pilot. And today we're going to talk about a number of wingmen who bailed out a pilot who almost had to bail out.
And not in the air either, huh?
No.
Good. Well, where we live, right? We live in Georgia, and Georgia just won the national title after 40 years. University of Georgia. Now, remember, I'm a University of Texas fan because both of my children played basketball on scholarship for Texas. I think one of the first brother and sister teams to do it. But whatever, I made that up maybe. The thing is, I'm a Texas fan. But since I live in Georgia, what's wrong with Georgia being number 2? And it was exciting to watch Georgia win the title. There's a story behind that, though, isn't there, Doc?
Yeah. It was a good game. I watched it. It was amazing. Yeah, the story is about the quarterback, really about the whole team. But they always have like a human interest angle, and there's someone who gets a lot of attention. This time's the quarterback. The name is Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett was a walk-on.
Wow.
He was a walk-on quarterback, and I guess he wasn't highly recruited. He always wanted to play for Georgia. He ended up going to junior college. I think he went to Georgia. Then he went to junior college, came back to Georgia, lost his starting position, but it hung in there. And an injury to their main quarterback happened to bring him to the front. And he made history just a few nights ago. The lesson there is, be true to yourself. Don't let your dreams die. His dream was to do that, and he did it. Highly unlikely odds are stacked against him big time, but he stuck with it. He persevered, and now he's in the history books.
Amazing. And the cool thing is he left Georgia the first time because he knew he wouldn't get any time and he couldn't get better unless he played football. So he went into a junior college to go get some starting time. And that's what made him progress. An amazing story. And before the game, they flipped the coin. Remember that? Because I don't see many coins anymore. But there is a special coin that I can't wait to get. Maya Angelou is on the U.S. quarter, the 25-cent piece. And I am so excited about that. They were supposed to put somebody on a $20 bill. Remember that?
Yeah, it's Harriet Tubman. That's supposed to
That's
happen around
correct.
2030. 2030.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Yeah, they expect to happen around 2030.
Right.
Should be
Well, how come Maya
unpacked.
got right in?
I don't know. George Washington's still going to be on the front. And there's like four of them. Maya Angelou, also Sally Ride. They're going to bring them out in a sequence. Sally Ride was the first U.S. woman astronaut. Someone named Nina Wagman, who was in the suffragette movement. A lady named, I think, Anna Wong, who was the first Chinese star in Hollywood. And the last one, best name is Wilma Mankiller Bennett. No, Wilma Mankiller. That's her name, Wilma Mankiller. She's a Native American activist. So I assume all these people are deceased. So, she probably won't bother you, but not somebody that you want to mess with, I guess.
Well, I'm Jewish, and a lot of those names come from what you did, like Goldsmith and Silversmith. These were gold people, and a lot of names come from the actual job you had. So what do you think her ancestors' job was?
They're like enforcers.
Killing men.
Killing men. Yeah, man killer. Wow. That's her name.
We need to stop killing. We need to start living, and some doctors just found a new way to do it.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Paul, I didn't know if this would ever come, but they bred a 245-pound pig, took his heart out, put it in a human being, and the human being is living. They genetically bred this pig for that reason. It hasn't rejected him yet. And I think that is going way, way, way out there because, technology moves at such a fast rate. What's going to happen in 100 years? You're going to go in a store and buy a new eye. You're not going to have bad vision.
You might do that. This is an amazing thing. This whole heart deal, I don't know a lot about it, but I had like a little involvement in something quasi-related to it decades ago. But this pig heart, first of all, they've used pig heart valves in people before.
Yes. What country was this in?
This is in the U.S. This pig heart thing was done in Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Baltimore, Maryland, the USA. I think the first heart transplant was in South Africa. I forgot the guy's name was DeBakey or something like that, Dr. DeBakey. Right. Some of the names I can remember pretty easily. But the pig heart, they said that it's still working. They're not sure what's going to happen. The doctor's name was Bartley Griffith, and the gentleman that received it was David Barnett. And David Bennett. And he's still doing okay as far as we know. They said it's experimental. He was going to die without it. And they asked him if he wanted to try it. He said, sure. I think he joked and said, well, I start going oink, oink. That's what he said. He had nothing to lose. So they said, they started the surgery and they had to do some creative plastic surgery to make everything fit. It wasn't 100%, but they got it working. And, who knows? And they say it's easier. I think there was one time they also replaced a kidney with a pig kidney on a human patient.
My God.
Someone who was kind of brain dead, but they said it worked. It's still being kind of pioneered. Many years ago when I was in college, I was part of a study where our class, one of our engineering classes, working with a doctor named Dr. George McGovern. I always remembered his name because it's the same name as the senator who was running for president in 1972, George McGovern. Right. Dr. George McGovern. We thought he was kidding, but that was his name, George McGovern in Pittsburgh. And he was a pioneering heart surgeon and was working on a mechanical heart at that time, something with machines. And he worked with our group just like for half a semester, and we basically had to kind of come up. We were in groups of 4 and 5, and we had to come up with our own designs for a mechanical heart, knowing just a little biology and a little chemistry, a little this, a little that. And I don't know if anything ever came from it. Nobody ever sent me any checks. But also, Dr. George McGovern, very smart guy, very funny guy, very lighthearted. And he took us in. I remember we went to watch a heart surgery. We watched a person getting open heart surgery.
They crank that puppy up open, don't they?
Yeah, we had 2 guys pass out. First time I ever saw anybody pass out.
But they actually crank it open with a vice almost.
Yeah, I didn't see that. He was open when we walked in.
It is incredibly what?
And they were working on the second one. They were working on a dog. They were doing something on the dog then too. This is 1973, I think. And it was just fascinating. And that was kind of our motivation to go do it. I mean, this guy was connected in a big way. So we thought we were kind of VIPs. So we turned stuff in and nothing ever came of it. But he's passed away. But I think he was still working on different developments. So that was a mechanical heart. That was his mechanical heart. I think mechanical hearts have been done. I haven't heard his name associated with, but that's something I was involved with.
Yes, they are. But you know what, Dr. Paul? Once you get that heart, I have a PSA from the Wingmen Show. This is a PSA from the Wingmen Show. Fact number 2. Be happy, have fun, and be nice. The goal is a long, healthy, and happy life. Be happy, have fun, and be nice. Thank you very much. This is the Wingmen Show. You know, Dr. Paul, I've always said it, and I'll say it again. The answer to world peace is being nice.
Yes. Yeah. All you got to do is
being nice.
Just convince a few world leaders about that, and you'll be all set.
That's correct. And you know what messes them up? What messes them up is power. And we had that conversation about the human spirit. When the human spirit sometimes gets too much power, it doesn't know what to do with it. But they are going to cause something that's not good. Our next problem in the world, they just said the world on fire. That was the article. And it's not a war that's going to come up. Well, at least not with bullets and bombs. It's a cyber war. We are getting so technical, and we have so many computers that we rely on. We actually rely on computers now. If somebody gets in them and shuts them down, they can shut all your electricity down. Remember, we flew off the carrier with the EA-6? Yes. I was an A-6 pilot, but there was a plane who looked like mine that was an EA-6, and it had electronic equipment on it that they didn't even teach us about. They wouldn't talk about it. It was top secret. Anyway, they could shut cities down. That's all I know. I'm not going to go any further into that. But my point is, the next problem in this world, number 1, is going to be a cyber attack. But you know what number 2 is? And I'm getting close to it. It's the weather, extreme weather. And there was a tornado not 5 miles from here, and it's not a joke. The third risk is the way we're handling climate change. Give me some good advice. Give me some knowledge. Man, this is not a joke. This cyber warfare is actually happening. And, you know, they're taking ransoms now. Hackers actually go into companies, say either you give me 100,000 or 10 million or whatever, or you don't have any more information on your company.
Yeah,
they pay it.
Yeah, last year some hackers, they shut down the fuel delivery systems on the East Coast. They didn't ask for a whole lot. They asked for a lot of money, but not much. It was a test case. And, you know, sometimes they'll shut down cities. I think they shut down the city of Atlanta at one point, different actors from different places. That's one thing. And even the World Forum, the Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, well, that's canceled again for the second year, again, because of the pandemic. So you got pandemics, you got germ warfare, you got cyber, you got tornadoes popping up everywhere. What can you do? Well, one thing you can prepare, have a home emergency kit, you know, have some food in the house, have some rations that can last for a while. You can get these K rations and things that will go for 5 years. You know, I think it's worth it. Spend $50, $100 put something in a closet if you need it. It may not taste good, might keep you alive. You need to be able to be on your own for at least, I think a week. But some people would go day to day, and it's tough to do.
Don't you think you need a generator also for electricity and power?
Yeah.
Because I mean, things are happening now where it's dangerous. It's dangerous. If you live in the South or where tornadoes are, God bless it. I have a tornado shelter, but these tornadoes don't leave anything left in its path. It's freaking
tornadoes.
weird. It looks like a Hollywood set.
Yeah, well, look at even in the East Coast. Look up in New York just a few months ago. That big rainstorm came and drowned people in basements in New Jersey and in New York and Long Island.
Well, there's another thing we can do. We could each take a part in making the earth a little greener, like by not doing certain things, burning certain things, just being a part of thinking that maybe we can save some of this, because if we keep messing up the ozone layer, it's going to be really bad for our children. And they have it hard enough already. We're already going to take the brunt of what happened maybe 50 years ago, but we might be able to do something for the future. And that's really important, because you're not going to believe this. I just saw a commercial for Kentucky fake chicken. It's actually not, well, it is fake chicken. It is a plant-based chicken. It's not real chicken, and they're serving it now for Kentucky Fried Chicken. You know, they stopped saying fried a long time ago. It just became KFC. They didn't want to put fry in their name. Now they could put fake, but I'm just kidding about that, because I think it would be a lot healthier than some of these chickens that we're eating. The way they raise chickens. If you ever went to a chicken farm, if you ever went to one and saw what they do to chickens, you wouldn't eat chicken anymore.
Right. Yeah. KFC. We talk about KFC. You know, I saw the original Colonel Sanders.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Believe it or not. And this is like it's about the same time as a heart thing, probably 72, 73. I was in the airport in Pittsburgh, headed back to New York. Got a student plane ticket. If you had a student ID, you get a plane ticket anywhere for $12, which I think is pretty good. Round trip, $25. Anyway, I was headed there, and I'm sitting down, and this old man comes in, and I look at him and say, "No, can't be. It's Colonel Sanders. He looks exactly, you don't see the commercial they have now. They get some guy that's kind of like him. Nah, this is the original."
Did he wear
Colonel
white?
Sanders. Huh?
Did he wear all white?
He wore all white, the way you saw him with the little tie thing or whatever you call that.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, exactly. I'm kind of looking at him. He's by himself. He's kind of out of it. He didn't look that healthy, but he's obviously doing some kind of promotional thing. And
he's eating chicken.
I guess. Either he's in Pittsburgh or leaving or passing through. I don't know what's going on. It was a major airport at that time. But this was like a real person. It'd be like watching TV and seeing, Jed Clampett from the Beverly Hillbillies sitting there.
Right.
That's a real
dressed like Jed Clampett.
Yeah, but
no, you got to do better than that for some of our listeners, because I don't think a lot of people, the younger generation really doesn't know who the Beverly Hillbillies are.
Right. We'll throw a couple of pictures on. But anyway, they're a very, very popular show years ago when there were only 3 networks and everybody watched the same stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Our friends down under in Australia, they just allowed one of the greatest tennis players in the world. He won a court case in there to stay there because of this virus that we're having. He lied on his visa, and they had him holed up in a hotel. He's supposed to be there for a tournament. They're not going to allow him to play in the tournament yet. But it's amazing when you have power and money, the things you can get away with. Look at our Kyrie Irving here. They told him, definitely, you won't ever play for the Brooklyn Nets unless you can play all the games. Well, guess what? Kyrie is now playing for just away games because he refuses to take a vaccine. And this is incredible, way beyond anything I can believe in. I have something else to say. One of my very good friends, damn near family, actually told me the reason that she didn't take the vaccine is she didn't want people to tell her what to do.
Okay.
And that was the most bizarre thing I ever heard, that you would risk your life because somebody was telling you to do it. Well, here's another PSA for you. We got two because I missed one in the show. Another PSA from the Wingmen Show. Do what you're supposed to do, not what you want to do, until what you're supposed to do becomes what you want to do, and then you can do what you want to do. That's a PSA. Thank you.
I can't agree more. If you're a superstar, if you're a spoiled superstar, you can do a lot more than a regular person.
100, but you better be good.
You got to be a superstar.
Well, no, I'm saying you have to be a current superstar that
That's
can help
current,
somebody
yeah.
win. Because Kaepernick was a superstar.
Right.
And the only reason he didn't go back in is because he wasn't that good anymore.
Right. Yeah, you got to be
Trust me,
current.
if he was Tom Brady good, he'd have been playing.
Yeah. They'd negotiate.
That's amazing. Well, I'm really excited to hear your Wingman story today. This is incredible. I saw the video. Please enlighten us, Dr. Paul.
Yeah, hopefully we can throw the video on the broadcast for those who watch YouTube. But here's a case of 4 wingmen, and none of them were pilots, as far as I know. There was a pilot, a 70-year-old man that took off out of an airport called Whitman Airport in Pomona, California, which is a suburb of LA. I guess he gets going, and shortly after takeoff, he loses his engine. I don't know why. So what they teach you, he lands the airplane, I guess as best he could, but he lands on some railroad tracks. I don't know why. If you look at the airport, it's densely populated. In fact, they've been trying to close it down for years. It's densely populated. He lands on the railroad tracks, probably the only clear space he had. He's injured. There's a police officer that sees it nearby, because this happened within a few hundred feet of a police station. One guy comes, I think he calls for backup. And this crashed airplane is on these railroad tracks. And there just happens to be a train barreling down towards the airplane. He's injured. He can't move. And these 4 police officers get the man out of the airplane. They drag him away and say, move, go. And a few seconds later, this Caltran train smashes into the airplane, rips it apart.
Wow.
He's not
4
hurt.
seconds.
No one on the train's hurt.
4 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, this is out of Arnold Schwarzenegger movie or something like
100%.
that, just in time. But it's real life, and you can see it on the body camera. So this pilot was saved by wingmen who weren't even flying. He's apparently doing better. He's okay. He's recovering in the hospital. He was hurt in the crash, but he was helpless.
Wow.
So,
that's amazing. That gives me 2 points I want to talk about. And one is your crazy butt flying a single engine jet off an aircraft carrier. Okay. See what happens with single engine airplanes? If you lose the engine, you're done. And I got to give it to you, because the A6, we had 2 engines. All of our commercial life, we had more than 1 engine. But
yes.
you flew A7s off an aircraft carrier with 1 engine. Amazing. I really look up to you for that, or think you're crazy, one or the other. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is we always badmouth cops, and I'm sick of that, because there are bad cops. There are real bad cops, but there are great policemen also. My dad used to say a long time ago, we should stop calling them police officers and start calling them peace officers, because they should promote peace, not stop crime. And if you promoted peace, you might not have as much crime. But my point being, the majority of people who want to save our lives are really good people. And I promise you, like in the foxhole, something bad happens to you, you're calling the cops, and you pray that you get a good cop. And there are many out there. And that's my shtick on police.
I agree. And I think the word cop, COP, stands for Constable On Patrol.
Really. I know how to fix the police too, Dr. Paul. Real simple. Just go in their jackets. Just go in the files, look at their jackets, and all the bad cops have records on them. Get rid of them, and you'll have better police. Period. all of these bad guys do have a file. And all you have to do is have maybe a secret panel of citizens plus police officers and military, get whatever you want. You go through their jackets. You know who the good cops are. That was my answer. I have to have answers to our problems.
I got you. Well, it could be a review board or some annual review, check rods.
Well, God bless you. You and I are both happily married right now, and we're going to go into our old age actually not being lonely. But I do want to end it with this. Be nice to people. Be nice to yourself, especially. And if you love yourself enough, you'll take action on getting better and being better, whether it's exercise or eating or learning or going back to school. And when the aura around you is somebody who wants to get better and getting better, you'll attract more people and you'll attract better people. So that's my little shtick. I've had a couple of shticks. That's my boy behind me. I'm going to see Drew Brown the Fifth.
Good. Well, be safe and don't do anything too crazy.
I just have to stop kissing him, probably.
That's good. Don't give him any germs.
Oh, I won't. Thank you once again, Dr. Paul Thompson, my friend. Thank you for your love, your time, and that's something that we won't ever get back. I want to thank all the listeners, too. Thank you so much for doing the show, Dr. Paul. We're jamming.
Well, thank you, Mr. Drew, for inviting me on. Always good to talk to you. And ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast or any of the podcasts. If you're looking at YouTube, they say smash the like button. Don't smash it. Just press it gently and use as a link to all your friends. You can also look at us on our website, wingmenshow.com, WINGMEN show, SHOW.com, altogether, wingmenshow.com. And we hope to see you in the future. Thanks again, Mr. Drew.
Oh, you're welcome. And we're still floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. May there be peace on earth, and goodwill towards all men and women.